Hi everyone. This video is about shifting and I want to break it down for you what to do and give you a few pointers, which mistakes you should maybe avoid. So a good shift consists of basically three principles. That is, first of all, the correct movement and the setup of the arm and the hand. Then there's the timing that is essential and the haptic feel of it, like the gliding sensation, how that should be done. Let's talk about positions first and the correct setup of your hand. This is actually quite a large subject. You could easily do another video about that. Maybe I will in the future, but this is now just the setup of the left hand as far as shifting is concerned. So when you play from first to third position, it's very important that the shifting is from the lower arm. So you have the impulse basically here, and that moves your hand. The hand in almost all shifts is an entity. It's not moving from the wrist. The thumb should not be left behind, or should all move together so that whenever you arrive in the next position, the shift is leading you there and then you're ready to play on. So that also means that if you want to play in tune, you don't want to change your position all the time, so there is no sideways movement during the shift. It stays in one line. The elbow is calm, the elbow does not pull this way, it stays where it is. And that's how the shift is done from first, second, and third position. The fourth position is a little bit individual for every viola and every player. So some people learned to already put the thumb out to be more free here. If you have rather bigger hands like I do, or your viola doesn't curve out much, then you could actually stay here if you can reach with your fourth finger comfortably. That is most important. Then in the fifth position, and not in the third or like later on, you move out with the elbow, with the arm, and the thumb goes under. That is super important. So you start from here, you move your elbow out, the thumb glides under, and you arrive here ready to play. Then as far as higher positions go, it also depends on your viola, on your hands, on your ability to stretch, how far you can turn out your arm. So that's very individual. Generally, as long as the fourth finger would be in an octave position without any extra stretching, then you could just move your wrist up. For me, when I go to seventh position on, I feel that it's not comfortable anymore, so I go higher with my arm. So the hand moves more upwards. And that is for you to figure out, and you can do that by doing it in a fourth finger scale. So you would be like, let's say, fifth position, sorry. And then I would move out. Then when you go higher, and that is very different from violin playing, you have two possibilities. Either you go here, so you put your thumb there and move out and go on to play like this. That needs a lot of turning out from the arm, or you put the thumb under the fingerboard, so in this little space between your viola and the fingerboard, and you sort of use it as a hook, your thumb, that the viola stays stable, and then that's how you can play. So both versions are very good for certain things. If you have something with a lot of impact where you need some percussion, then I always would recommend this position because it's easier to really press the fingers down. Plus, you have more stability in the hand. So the thumb has a slight pressure towards your neck that stabilizes your viola so that the finger itself can be free. Yeah, so that so for let's say for really things where you need a lot of virtuosity or clarity or a lot of lifting from the fingers or some sort of impetus vibrato, then that would be a good that would be the right position. The other one feels more relaxed in the hands. So very often if you have like super high vibrato, let's say Kodai Adagio, uh, yeah, the vibrato is generally much more free in this position. It feels, however, slightly unstable, and it's almost impossible to like completely press the string down. So it's not so good for really loud passages, but it gives you a very free and relaxed arm. So sometimes that is much better. There's one slight disadvantage of this one, that it's very hard to come down afterwards because you have to have this moment where the viola is sort of only held by your head, and that makes it a bit tricky. So if you have fast passages going downwards, either try to avoid the fourth finger and stay with the thumb where it is and go like this, or you put the thumb here so you can put the arm more around, because it's much easier to go backwards this way. For the shifting itself, I very often see the mistakes that the wrist moves separately or the elbow moves outwards for no reason. So you try to avoid that until fourth position, or you play the fourth position more out, then you have to know exactly where to go, like remember this point, yeah? Then in the fifth position, it's in one movement upwards and one movement downwards. And here, other than when you go from 1 to 3, where it's led by the lower arm, it's led by the elbow swinging this way towards your face. Okay, yeah? And then that goes on for all the others. So because you have the turning motion of the elbow, your thumb would also move. So I wouldn't do anything different with the thumb. I would stay in the same way you play in first position and then move upwards. And because of the turning, the thumb goes under the neck of your viola. So I recommend one exercise. You will find a download link below. It's very simple. It's basically an exercise to connect all positions and to practice to be really aware of where each goal and each position is. So I give you an example. Yeah, that is the exercise. So elbow still, impulse from the lower arm, no sideways movements, this way, or whatever. The fingers stay relaxed and in place, and you move smoothly up. And talking about smoothly, the haptic feel of a shift. It depends a lot on what you're playing. So if you play forte, you need to have like more pressure on the string than when you play piano. But it's very important that you don't press or get stuck during the shift. So for that, I want to just give you an example of how it should feel like without actually using the bow. So you would hold your viola with the first finger, like as if you play a G, and you hold your viola here. So there are 3 points where the viola is being touched right now by your hand. It's with the thumb, with the round the ground knuckle of your first finger and with the fingertip. All these should have the same feeling on the viola, not the thumb more or whatever. Yeah, it's like the same sort of gripping or like really taking it into your hands feeling, so the viola doesn't drop. Okay, so now you release the pressure on all 3 points and let the viola glide down. Let's do it once more, and it glides. So the moment that you do so it can glide down is some sort of relaxation, and also if you release ever so slightly it goes slower. If you do it too fast it would just drop, right? So the feeling of going like this, that would be the feeling how a shift should be done. You can do the other way around as well. If you press on your viola upwards and have your hand in the first position and you press it up and you let it drop and you press it up, drop, up. And now focus on how it feels on your fingertips and especially also on the skin. There should be so much sensitivity on your skin that you actually feel your skin is being moved by the wood of the instrument. If you don't have that sensation, then you probably press too much. And it's very important because that allows the blood to still circulate, and it also means that there is sensitivity in your touch, which you always need. So especially if you have big shifts or things you are afraid of, or suddenly on stage you get panicky and you don't trust yourself, it's very important to practice beforehand, to put the movement within your rhythm so that you arrive exactly in the right timing and not at some point. So if you feel great at home, it would be no problem because you don't even think about it and you're like, yeah, sure, here's my note. And then on stage you're suddenly panicking and you would probably freeze up, or you would go in the last minute in a panic, or you know what I mean. So if you have a shift like a whatever, yeah, then I would know chakata dam. So chakata would be my shift and dam would be my arousal point. Chakata dam. And then of course it depends on if you want a glissando or not. But that is something very important that you should always be aware of. So the exercise I previously mentioned, I would practice it with the metronome so that and go arrive, go arrive. You see what I mean? So that the timing of the shift itself is really perfectly placed. Most people actually have super fast shifts. You can do them faster or later if you know where the notes are, but if you practice it, it should be in a very, very beautiful and smooth tempo. Yeah, and not fast. And you should feel, without actually losing your goal, you should always feel the whole way and feel it in your brain, because that is how we remember to hit the right notes. Alright, that is for the basic principles of shifting. I will do another video about more intricate things like classical and romantic shift, plus some input on glissando and portamento. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you for watching.